Sports and boxing as a whole is a young man's game. At the age of 38, can Oleksandr Usyk fight at the same intensity, use his feet as he did in a few fights ago? Will Oleksandr Usyk be able to match that youthful energy that Daniel Dubois will bring in that ring? Is Oleksandr Usyk the same fighter that he was a few years ago? I mean, Father Time is undefeated. There are so many questions that a lot of people are asking about Oleksandr Usyk's age and how that will affect this fight against Daniel Dubois at Wembley. When having this argument with a few boxing fans, a lot of people made mention of the fact that George Foreman is the oldest heavyweight champion ever. At the age of 45, he became a champion. But then when you think about it, George Foreman was not that much of a mover. George Foreman did not fight anywhere close to what Usyk does in the ring. George Foreman stayed in the pocket and had a war. George Foreman was a puncher, and just like many punchers, they do not rely on their feet to be able to get the success that they need. They need their feet to get to the target, but most of the things that they do is done with their power punch, using the jab and then landing that right hand, as most punchers do. Usyk, on the other hand, is using his feet as a way to put pressure on his opponent, is using his boxing IQ to figure his opponents out and then working them out as he goes on and then try to break them mentally. This is how Usyk fights. So, comparing Usyk to George Foreman, yes, heavyweights, can fight for longer because they don't have to deal with a lot of the weight cuts that the lower divisions or the lighter divisions do. So heavyweights do not have to put that much strain on their bodies, and that's why they can fight for long. Usyk, on the other hand, is not a natural heavyweight. Usyk fought in the lighter weight division before coming to heavyweight. So Usyk has had those years of cutting weight and putting his body on the line to be able to fight at the cruiserweight division. So, the wear and tear is definitely on Usyk's body. You cannot forget that, and you cannot negate the fact that that could play a part in it. Some people also used Muhammad Ali as an example. And of course, you can look at Ali and go, he had a lot of success after being Cassius Clay. If you look at that fight against Sonny Liston, Ali boxed beautifully. His movement was incredible. Just making Sonny Liston miss and making Sonny Liston pay was something that was very prevalent in that fight. And Ali was successful in both fights. Of course, the second fight, there was some controversy, but he was nevertheless the champion. Now, fast forward to Ali fighting someone like Leon Spinks, or even the George Foreman fight in Zaire, in Africa. Muhammad Ali was not able to use his feet the way he did in that Sonny Liston fight. Muhammad Ali was not able to get quicker to the target as he did in that Sonny Liston fight. And Ali used that rope-a-dope in order to survive in the ring, or in order to get George Foreman to punch himself out. And then he then goes to work. And then he takes over the fight and knocks George Foreman out. So it will be really interesting to see how Oleksandr Usyk adapts in this fight. Now, the question that we have to be asking ourselves is, how has Oleksandr Usyk behaved as a fighter? One thing that is really important in boxing and in sports as a whole is a fighter living and breathing and behaving like a fighter. And as we know, Oleksandr Usyk, he's lived like a fighter. He doesn't blow up in weight. He's very disciplined. He's one of the most incredible champions I have ever seen in terms of, being a fighter and behaving like a fighter, and living the life and eating and sleeping and being in the gym and working out and really carrying himself as a fighter. And I've seen Oleksandr Usyk do all of that. Now, age considered, you have to also look at a fighter's behavior as the way they behave as a fighter. And I think, although Usyk is 38, Usyk has lived a life. And that is why you could see someone like Usyk, who was older than Tyson Fury, be able to beat Tyson Fury twice. And that's because Usyk has lived a life. He hasn't abused his body with drugs and alcohol and so many things. So the big question of whether Usyk's age will play a part in this, and whether his legs are the same, and whether he'll be able to fight at the same intensity, and whether he'll be able to match Daniel Dubois' energy in that ring. I think we're yet to see, of course, but I think if you look at what Usyk has done, how he's lived his life, and how Usyk has fought in his whole career, I think Usyk's age will probably play a part, but not as much as a lot of people are thinking that it would. I think Usyk, because he's lived the life, because he's eating right, because he's trained right, because he has not blown up in weight, because he's coming from a lighter division where he's able to move so much, because of the way he trains, the intensity that he trains with and he fights with, because he's used to that way of fighting. It's really hard for a lot of heavyweights to match the way Usyk fight in the ring. So I think age considered, once again, and the way Usyk live his lives considered, I think there would not be much difference to what we saw in that Tyson Fury fight or the Anthony Joshua fight versus what we will see in the Daniel Dubois fight. What do you think? Do you think Usyk's age will play a big factor in this fight? Or do you think because Usyk has lived the life, has behaved like a fighter, that this will stand him in good stead going into the Daniel Dubois fight? Or do you think Father Time is undefeated and Usyk is just human, and at this point we're going to see Usyk get old in that ring and not be able to do the things that we've seen him do so many times in the ring? Get in the comment section and let me know how you think about this, how you sort of break this down, how you see Usyk's age playing a part in this. I'm really excited to know what you guys think about this one. My name is Bright. This is the Bright Show Podcast Boxing. If you enjoy boxing content, then please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave your comments in the section below. I'll see you guys on the next one.